Hellblade isn't a typical game. It's a journey in the mind, a game that blends Norse mythology, mental struggles, and the fight against your own fears and demons. And all of this is unique, because none of these themes can be fully understood without pure logic. A mythological story isn't meant to be taken literally. It's like a deep riddle, a reflection of the subconsciousness shaped by society. It shifts and transforms just like a message in a game of telephone. It starts out clear, but as it's passed along, it gets distorted and colored by psychological filters like expectation, exaggeration, humor, or even sexual undertones. For example, in Norse mythology there's a story where Loki changes his form and turns into a mare to seduce a stallion named Svilfari. It's just like in a game of broken telephone. Someone who retold the story back then likely add a twisted sexual twist for humor. But that's not all. The game also combines this with themes of mental health. The main character has paranoid schizophrenia, which is portrayed very realistically, as the developers worked closely with psychiatrists and people who have lived with this condition. And this is another theme that can't be fully understood without pure logic. Senua sets out for Helheim to save the soul of her dead partner, Dylan. The whole journey is also an inner metaphor. Her path symbolizes the struggle with psychosis, guilt, love, and acceptance. At its core, it's a psychological journey through pain, loss, and coming to terms with trauma. And combined with mythology, it creates an incredible original concept. It's a complex life journey where many things don't make sense at first. The character is constantly confronted with her own shadow. What we see in the game might not be real. We often don't know what's true and what's just in her mind. Mythological creatures and scenes are pretty real, purely projection of her illness. An environment that seems like a death and can change if you look at it different point of view. But what does all this mean? What's the point of this difficult journey of constant fear and suffering? What is trying to tell us? What Senua experience is called the individual journey, a concept introduced by Swiss psychiatric Carl Gustav Jung. Is the transformation of the self when our identity goes through a deep life change. This can happen to anyone, not just people with mental illness. It's a time when a life shifts completely, when we may rethink our values, change our interests, let go of people we no longer connect with, and transform how we see the world, pain, loneliness, and experience. Just like hero in ancient myth and Jung's archetype. One must go through suffering and integrate the darker parts of themselves. This is also connected to another concept, called the shadow. The shadow is part of our personality. It's the sum of our darkest traits, traumas, and all the suppressed things in our life. It's the dark side of ourselves, but still a part of who we are. Our goal is not to suppress or fight it, but to accept it as it is, work with it and see it as part of us. Only then it can't control us or turn us into bad people. In the game, the shadow can be represented by demonic creatures or darkness of the world. Just like Senua, each of us has our own unique life path, difficult, full of problems, pain, and dead ends, with no simple solutions. It's different for everyone. The way people face and accept their shadow also varies. What works for one person might not work for another. The best thing we can do is stay open to experiences. Learn to think outside the box and not be afraid to change ourselves, our views or deep-rooted beliefs. Just as you see the world differently now than 10 years ago, in another 10 years your views will change again. We shouldn't fear rewriting our internal map, trying new things and learning in non-traditional ways, because that's how we grow and thrive in life. In nature, what grows and thrives is what evolves and stays in motion. What stands still and doesn't change for too long eventually dies. And just like organism must one die to make space for new plants that try different ways to grow, we too must let our old self die, so a new self can be born. Thank you to everyone who watched until the end. If you enjoyed my content and ideas, subscribing is a great way to support my work. Take care.